thoroughly good-natured and not much caring what they laughed at. So they laughed at any rate. He encouraged them in their merriment, and they passed the bottle joyfully. After tea, they had some music, for they were a musical family and knew what they were about when they sung a glee or catch. I can assure you, especially Topper, who could growl away in the bass like a good one and could never swell the large veins in his forehead or get red in the face over it. Scrooge's niece played well upon the harp and played among other tunes a simple little air, a mere nothing, might learn to whistle. You might learn to whistle it in a minute, in 2 minutes, which had been familiar to the child who fetched Scrooge from the boarding school, as he had been reminded by the ghost of Christmas past. When this strain of music sounded, all the things that the ghost had shown him came upon his mind. He softened more and more, and thought that if he could have listened to it more often, years ago, he might have cultivated the kindness of life for his own happiness with his own hands, without resorting to the sexton spade that buried Jacob Marley. But they didn't devote the whole evening to music. After a while, they played at forfeits, for it is good to be with children sometimes, and never better than at Christmas, when its mighty founder was a child himself. Stop! There was a game at Blind Man's Bluff. Of course there was. And I no more believe Topper was really blind than I believe he had eyes in his boots. My opinion is that it was a done thing between him and Scrooge's nephew, and that the ghost of Christmas present knew it. The way he went after that plump sister in the lace tucker was an outrage on the credulity of human nature, knocking down the first fire irons, tumbling over the chairs, bumping against the piano, smothering himself among the curtains wherever she went. There he went he? He also knew where the plump sister was. He wouldn't catch anybody else. If you had fallen up against him, or as some of them did, on purpose, he would have made a feint of endeavoring to seize you, which would have you affront to your understanding, and would you instantly have sidled off in the direction of the plump sister? She often cried out that it wasn't fair, and it really was not. But when at last he caught her, when in spite of all her silken rustlings and her rapid flutterings past him, he got her to a corner whence there was no escape, then his conduct was the most execrable, for his pretending not to know her, his pretending that it was necessary to touch her headdress, and further to assure himself of her identity by pressing a certain ring upon her finger and a certain chain about her neck, was vile.